Welcome back. You're still watching Breakfast in Bed, and like we said, we're talking about the workspace and how to navigate your career, navigating career crossroads. And we have a career coach in the house. It's going to put us through with the way Gen Zs are handling the workspace, the way millennials are handling the work. I'm a Gen Z fan. In the workspace, I'm a Gen Z fan. I won't lie. I tell people I'm a millennial, but I've got the energy of a Gen Z. So obviously, I like it.
These millennials just like to farm us.
Welcome.
I know they are big fans of us.
Millennials just like to farm us.
No, rest.
They just do.
Rest.
Because they know we're young. We're
Welcome to the show, Ifeanyi Olabode, our career coach. Great to have you on Breakfast in Bed.
It's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure. Nice to have everyone here also.
So now let's get into the workspace and talk about, I want to start with the old Gen Z thing that we start now. Do you think Gen Zs are handling the workspace the way it should be handled? Are they doing things the proper way, or you feel they're just being too much, they're just extra?
No.
So personally, from experience, I think it's just very cool to want to talk down on the lower generation. As a millennial, when I started working, we heard the same thing from the boomers. Oh, millennials are so lazy, they don't work well. So we just transcend that same culture down to Gen Z. Just like when you are in boarding school, when you have new intakes, you bully them, fight them and stuff. When they grow to become seniors, they do the same thing. So it's just a circle. We keep circulating the same ideology of younger generation not being active, not being efficient, or not being professional, so to say. I'm not saying that Gen Zs don't have bad eggs. Of course, every generation have their own bad eggs, but I don't think that necessarily Gen Zs are bad for the corporate space at all. I've worked with hundreds of them, and they are super amazing people as well.
You just feel that maybe the older generation, they just don't understand the language. I always feel they just don't understand the language of the Gen Zs.
Yes.
Gen Zs,
they're not cool.
Yeah.
They're not cool.
So Gen Zs are very innovative people. They ask questions a lot, and they're going to shake the foundation of everywhere they go to. They'll ask you, why am I doing this? Why am I wearing suit to the work when I'm not meeting like any customer? Why can't I just wear my shredded jeans and just wear singlet and go to work? So you, as the millennial or the management, you have to answer those core questions that you're asking. And because most millennials or boomers don't have answers to these questions, and most of us will just copy and paste. This is what management said I should do. I'm going to do it. And the Gen Z is coming from university and asking me these tough questions, and I'm unable to answer them. Then that is where the issue comes from.
They always come with this sentence as directed. Yeah, so it's always like a copy and paste thing.
Exactly. But the Gen Z would ask a question. Why do I have to do that? You get?
Because we're a generation of liberation. We are free. We are young.
Speak.
We like to know why. Why should I?
But this is where I come in, because in as much as you are innovative, the entrepreneurs, we love your energy. We love that you are bringing, new things on board. But there has to be a balance. If you are coming to change things drastically, human beings generally don't like change. We are not like, we don't embrace change as fast as we should. And if you're coming to an organization, you've barely worked 3 months. Why are you coming to change everything? You need to understand why these things are in place, what the structure is like, why there's a structure. Then you introduce some of these changes gradually. But a Gen Z will come. I've worked with a Gen Z that worked 4 months and requested for 300% increase in pay.
After 4 months.
Relax. Relax. So these are the issues here. So you're coming with a change. You're coming asking for, I want to work fully remote. You are a media personality. You are supposed. How are we going to bring the camera to your house to host, like you? So these are the issues, and I feel like there should be a balance.
You didn't even give the person a chance.
Don't defend what you
didn't give the
defend.
person a chance. He or she could have found a way to do that camera thing from his or her house.
Are there solutions to these problems that we're about to face?
About to?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like we're about to be a menace?
Yes.
No, I think we are talking about Gen Z. The next generation after Gen Zs are even worse. Don't worry.
Alpha.
Gen Alpha.
You are not even ready.
I don't think we are ready for this one.
No.
So let's deal with the ones we have on hand now.
So First of all, I think over time, over the couple of years, there's been a change in what employees demand for. The boomers wanted prestigious, workplace. They want prestigious skills, prestigious, let's say, jobs generally. That's where we had the rise of I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a doctor, I want to be an engineer. The boomers. Then my generation, the millennials, we wanted passion. I mean everything, but mostly passion. So I want to go with what I want. I want to be a musician, I'll do it. I want to become a footballer, let me do it. So don't ask me questions, I will just do it. But the Gen Zs came with, I want flexibility and money. Yeah. I want hybrid or remote, and I want to have money. And that's because of the rise of social media. I personally will see my mates in the United States earning as high as 150,000 USD yearly. And I see the skills that they have. I go on LinkedIn and I see what they have done. I've done times 3 of that. Why can't I earn that amount? And because of this, exposure and globalization, the expectation from the Gen Zs ripple down to the workplace. So you're probably chatting with your friend that Jackpa and is earning times 3 of you, and you're doing the same thing. Subconsciously, you pass that aggression to work and say, Oga, my mates outside this country are earning that amount, and I'm doing way more. Why can't I earn? And in fact, I want to work from home, all these kind of things. So I feel like what we can do to solve all of this is to understand them, the Gen Zs, understand why they want flexibility, understand that they have seen their parents, they've seen their grandfather work for several years, and maybe manage to build one house at the rural area of your state or Crossroads, so to say, and they don't want that for themselves. So we have to put things in place and say, you know what, we are going to make work flexible for you. We are going to give you, a good amount of pay, and you can actually build your career. Let them see the career progression. And lastly, Gen Zs are extremely result-driven. They don't care about what I'm wearing to work, how many hours I work. Just tell me, this is what I want, and I'll do it for you. Don't come micromanaging me. So those are the things that we need to understand about Gen Zs. Just tell them what you want them to do and give them a timeline. Let them come back to you with those results. Don't necessarily micromanage them, so to say. And that's different between millennials and Gen Z. So if we put those things in place, I think everyone will be fine.
Let's go back to the question.
I want to really come to...
it's actually navigating
I want to really
crossroads.
come to navigating careers now. At what age should a child be ready to say, this is the career I want to embark on, and this is what I want to do? What age is the right age? What age do you think a child should have in mind that this is what they want to do?
So first of all, I think that it's impossible to know what you want to do when you have not tasted, several options. So for instance, you want to travel to Japan, you've not been there before, you've not tasted their food, and you be like, oh, sushi is my favorite. You've not tasted all the food, so how do you know which of them is your favorite food? And human beings, our wants, changes quickly. If I ask you, do you still speak with your first love?
No.
What about you? Do you still speak with your first love? Do you even remember who your first love is? So this, so let's transcend that to workplace. These things, our wants, our needs, change over time. I mean, change is the most constant thing in life, honestly. So I would tell people, if you have not been to the workplace, done internship, experience what it feels like to be in marketing, in sales, in operations, in management, several departments. If you have not done a little bit of coding, how do you know which of them works for you? And one of the greatest lie that I've ever been told is, or fallacy, let me call it a fallacy, is follow your passion. Oh my God. We need to bond with that fallacy and throw it down to the pit of hell. It should not even be an advice at all, because
why?
Yeah, because your passion is gotten from your interest, and your interest changes. So what happens if your first passion is me? Growing up, I wanted to be a doctor. Then I got into secondary school. I changed again. No, I think I talk a lot. I think I should be a lawyer. It changes again. I wanted to be an astronaut. Then it changed. Then it changed again. So if you follow your passion, you will fail drastically.
But I think, sorry to cut you, but I think sometimes we just like to try different things. Like somebody like me, you can't put me in a box.
That's why you're genuine.
I like to try. Oh, this is tech. I should be able to do something in tech. And if it doesn't work, okay, on to the next. Like people like to have an idea of so many things, and so how. So
you are validating what I was saying earlier. For a young graduate, my advice would always be, please do as many internships as you can.
As possible.
So you would have tried all of these things, and you would eventually now know the one that works for you. I'd done journalism, I'd done banking operations, I'd done marketing, and I just knew some of them were not for me. So I worked in a bank where I had to be there by 7 o'clock, I closed by 8. I just knew it was not for me. And there were people that really enjoyed it. And I'm happy for them. I mean, so they found their... I knew it wasn't. I did marketing. I'm like, close, but not close enough. Until I found, my business, my niche and stuff. So I would advise people, fail fast. While in school, while you're studying, do internships. Come to LTV and beg them. I'm like, please, can I just be watching while people are doing this thing? One day you might just get an opportunity to sit down there and,
Okay, I want to pick a point. Do internships, and I want us to be very realistic as possible. Do internships. Are you saying do internships that are not paid for, considering the economic situation of the country, and knowing that I need to be at this place 3 times a week or 4 or 5 times a week, and I need to learn, and I still go to school? How easy is it for a child or a student to navigate that if you want them to do internships?
Good question, and this has been, this has been very controversial over the past few years.
Yes.
But my take would always be that for an employer to employ you, you have to provide value. Okay. And most of the time, I'm not saying interns don't provide value, but most of the time, the first stage you are learning.
Yeah.
And most organizations are extremely profit-driven. So unfortunately, that's what it is. And would advise that you do internship virtually. Start with that, if you can. But if it is only physical, by all means, if that is the only opportunity you have, please do it even when you're not paid. It just means you are sowing the seed for the future. You are building your CV. You are your own personal brand. You're building it. So at the end of the day. That same organization that is employing you for free might not even be able to pay you by the time you gather all the experiences that you need and so on. So you're doing it for yourself and not for the organization. I don't think you should wait for paid internship.
I get the experience part or everything, but even if it's transport allowance, organizations, please do give your interns. It's not fair.
Absolutely agree with you. I feel like as long as you are in the space and you are helping, providing slightest value, I think everyone should be paid.
Or they'll just not come 5 times a week.
So interns, that's all like that. I think most people really misunderstand what internship is. You are not there to work full time.
You're there to learn.
You're there to learn. You're there to just assist and learn primarily.
But we know Nigerian organizations are misusing opportunities, or misunderstanding a concept. You can hear internship is not full-time.
It's not a full-time employment, and most of it's a contract. Just go there once or twice.
Once they say, okay, you are our intern, you will write their CV,
you will
watch their place, you will...
Go and buy amala from the
So back to the question again. You choosing a career path, do parents or family play a very important role in this?
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's hard reality that most of us, we pick our careers based off of societal, family bias, even our own personal bias. I had an uncle at the time who was a banker, and fresh guy, come on, drive a good car, come back from work, smelling good. Of course, he'll stop at your sensation at the time, buy takeaway ice cream, drop. Oh my God. All I cared about was being a banker.
You like that life.
Oh my, who doesn't?
He was giving.
He was giving.
come back, drop, ice cream for us, sleep, good suit, just go, come in the morning. I'm going to work again, driver. He had a driver at the time. So everything made sense, and I wanted to, because that was my exposure at the time, and that was the bias I had. And it was a branch operations manager. And yeah, I was like, yes, that operations, maybe there's something there I wanted to be at the time. And I joined, and I realized, nah.
It's not what you want.
Yeah, it's not for me. So what I would say to choosing a career is look for where you can provide value. Because at the end of the day, because you have passion for something, or because you have been paid a huge amount of money for something, doesn't mean you'll be fulfilled at the end of the day. And I've seen or interviewed several retirees or people that have retired, and most of them do not find fulfillment in what they've done. After working several years, more than 100 hours of work, because they did not find fulfillment, even though they thought that was what they were passionate about. And I think that getting fulfillment at the end of the day comes from giving value. By that, I mean you are helping people. The wealth of fulfillment comes mostly when you are able to actually impact your society. So I will tell people to pick the career. First thing you need to do is look for where you can actually give value and where your skills match. So for instance, you are here giving value. Now we are talking about career. That's value you are giving to the public. Tomorrow someone can come to you, oh, thank you, that show you did changed my life. That is where you find fulfillment. When you are seeing direct impact of what you are doing, you are seeing it in the society, you are seeing it in the life of people. At the end of the day, you know that, yes, I've been able to make an impact here. And your skills match. I mean, you speak so well, you speak amazing. So your skills do match. You get, so that combination, you would find fulfillment in it. And that's been my advice for the past, a decade. Find value, find where you can provide value, find where that value match your skill. Because you're providing value doesn't mean you go look for where you don't necessarily have the skill. Yes. Most of us have, an innate skill. Look for that innate skill. Look for the value. Marry it together.
And shoot.
Yeah.
Okay, I want us to come into the workplace. These days we have workplace conflicts. Yeah. Now, people are dealing with that. And just before we leave, I want us to talk. How can you manage work? For so many people, or few people, they say workplace conflict is not personal for them. And I don't expect it to be personal for them, but people tend to make it very personal and say like, oh, because today is we're going to have these issues forever and ever and ever and ever. And I don't know why it's like that. So how do people manage workplace conflicts? And I really do not understand why people cry in offices. Maybe a boss spoke to you and you're crying. I really don't understand. If I see someone crying because the boss spoke to them, I'll add to that.
This is how you know he's a millennial. This is how you know them.
This is
how you know he's a millennial.
Why are you crying? But yeah, let him just go because of time.
People are different.
You shouldn't cry. How do you manage workplace conflict?
First of all, I would want to say that it's like in an organization, your employees' mental health is top priority.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very.
It cannot be overemphasized. And especially the Gen Zs, they are born into the digital space, the digital world where they're little resilience to emotions and stuff. And it's important that we take cognizance of that in our day-to-day activities at work. And to answer your question, I think that there's a downtime or downfall of let me put it this way. I don't see a lot of soft skills training anymore, and that has drastically affected the workspace. When I started, I started with the back, as I mentioned. We dedicated 6 months to learning majority of mostly soft skills. By that I mean emotional intelligence, interpersonal skills, marketing, how to just talk to people, how to write emails, how to manage pressure and all of that. Like months learning before we even started the job, but we don't see all of that happening anymore. So what I've noticed today is that people just graduate, jump into work and not learn those major soft skills. People focus more on the hard skills, maybe learning coding, learning how to, do your work or carry camera or, all of those things, creative writing. The soft skills don't matter. How do you send those emails? What tone do you use for different type of email? How do you speak with your boss? How do you speak with your colleagues? How do you, receive some of the aggression that you probably get from customers? I remember there was a time an intern I joined and like, oh, you have passion for customer service, and oh, sure, go do it. And it was a university at the time, university branch, and some students would come, they would use the F word on you, abuse your parents, and you started crying. And I'm like, no, we need to do better when it comes to soft skills in this generation. It is as important as the hard skills, as a matter of fact. And when we deal with that, it's going to help us with the conflict that we have in the organization.
Okay, we need to go. Time. Sorry. And last one, very quick.
Yes, as a career coach, what are the common mistakes people have made trying to navigate different careers?
A lot, but I'll mention two. I'll mention two. Poor networking. People don't network anymore. Your network, I know it's common to say your network is your net worth, but you need to network. As I was saying the other day, 70% of the jobs are not advertised. So how do you know when there's a vacancy, when you don't have people around you, you don't keep tracks and stuff?
Need to go.
Yes, so that would be my advice.
We need to go. So, but we're going to have you another time because it seems like a very broad topic and we need to dig into it. But many thanks for coming. Ifeanyi Olabode, a career coach. Very nice to have you on Breakfast in Bed.
Yes.
Nice
it's been an amazing time. Koyi, do you want to tell them bye-bye?
Bye, guys. See you next week.
Yeah, see you next weekend. I am Adedayo Kennedy.
So it's the month of love. You're planning to love yourselves, and please, I'm expecting gifts.
Please,
I always say this every year.
Self-love is the best love.
I thought you removed 14 from your calendar.
You removed this, I've not removed it. Please. I'm expecting gifts, and don't worry, even if you send that, okay, I'm not going to say anything if you give me that. But whatever it is, do take care of yourself, enjoy yourselves, be safe, enjoy the new month, and bababumi, baby. Take care.
Bye.